case you forgot, RAIDER ReACTION is for mature audiences only. So if you can't stand the heat, stay away from the fire.
It's another beautiful day to be a raider, draped in the silver and black. I represent the shield, I represent the swords. It's that time of night again, Raider Nation, and you come back. Why? Because it's time. It's time to bring the
What's up, Raider Nation? I am the Commish, coming to you live, as always, from Hardcore Challenge Live Studios. And just where is that, might you ask? Well, let me give you some simple directions. It's just down the street, past the house with the boarded up windows. Make sure you stop on the corner and ask my man Joe. He's a gentleman and a scholar. Slip him what you should. He's going to point you in the right direction. He's going to tell you to take a left and then a right. As you find yourself strolling down the street, you're going to pass a deep, dark alley to your immediate right. As you pass that alley, a cool breeze hits you that chills you right to your skeletal core. And you'll find yourself asking, Was that the autumn breeze? You goddamn right. Should you venture down that deep, dark alley? Well, of course you should. Because what you're going to find at the end is a special little place that we like to call deep behind the enemy line. This is Raider Reaction. And as it is every Tuesday on Raider Reaction, this is the Raider Nation Report with yours truly, a solid 60 minutes of everything silver and black. And thank you all for joining me. As always, new and old, our band of pirates, as always, thank you for joining me. So let's get right to it. We've got a lot to talk about. A lot has went down since we've last sat down together and had an intimate conversation about all that is silver and black. And the biggest news, I've been talking about it. I've been starting off damn near every show with it. And it was the biggest topic that needed to be decided before you talked about anything 2019. Thank you, Russ. Appreciate it. Got me some new lids. Got a few. Gonna be seeing popping them up. Got some new lids. Now, like I said, I've been starting off most of the show with the number one topic, and that is, where do we play 2019? Well, a lot of people said it. I said it was always a viable option the whole time. I never came out and would ever say anything was decided. I was just following the ebbs and the bobs and the weaves of the off-season, where the hell are the Raiders going to play stories. And ultimately, and I'd voice my opinion on this as well, I thought the best thing ultimately was for the Raiders to play in Oakland in 2019. I mean, it's the ultimate, if you were going to write it, it's at the end of the decade. They'll be starting a new decade in a new city, in a new zip code. You get to now promote this season as the final season in Oakland. You now get to promote the final ride. It just, everything works out for the best as far as promoting it. So, the only bad thing was, I think it was bad form and bad play, and a play that didn't need to be made by the city of Oakland. I don't think that play needed to be made this offseason. This offseason, you should have held your hand. You knew Oakland was going to come back to you, you knew the Raiders were going to come back to you as the first and best option for 2019. You knew you had that. So you didn't need to show your hand yet. You didn't need to let them know the lawsuit was coming. You didn't need to do that yet. There was no statute of limitations that said you needed to do that. There was no reason that needed to be done at this time. Not yet. Not yet. But they did. And so what happened now is, now you've aired. Listen, everybody knows the divorce is going on. You know the fights are going on behind the scenes. But you don't want that shit drug out into... And now you're airing family business out. So now you're National Enquirer and Jerry Springer and shit. And now everything's all out there. Because now the lawsuit's out there. Now, we're all in the news because, we don't have a place to play, and they don't want them, and they can't play there, and the Niners aren't going to allow that. They're going to vote that down, and blah, blah, blah. Oakland should have graciously reached out their hand and said, we want you back in 2019. And then when they parted ways, if that's the card you were going to play, and you're going to sue their ass, then you sue their ass when they're already leaving. Because what you did was you toyed with the emotions of your fans, of your constituents, of the people you're supposed to be protecting, and who you're supposed to be representing. You now toyed with them and drug them through the mud and all that bullshit for nothing. For nothing. Because ultimately, everybody wanted to have the Raiders in Oakland in 2019. Everybody. Even Oakland. You showed... Yeah. Oakland, you guys are shitty poker players. Terrible. Showed your hand way too soon. Way too soon. There was no reason to play that yet. No reason. All this backroom shit could have continued for a whole nother year. Then when you knew they were absolutely on the construction schedule, they were going to be going to Vegas in 2020, drop your lawsuit. Because there's still a contingency option in what they're setting up now, that if the stadium is not ready in 2020, the Raiders will play in Oakland one more year beyond 2019. Which is, again, what should have fucking happened. Again, that's what should have happened. Mark Davis has said out of his own mouth, if I need to fund my own lawsuit for the sake of the fans, I will. What does that mean? That means he knows that if he goes back to Oakland and has to pay them a penny, that basically that money is directly going to the lawsuit that is in turn suing the Raiders. And he has said that out of his own mouth in a live interview. So, like I said, I think everybody knew the lawsuit was coming. I think it was really bad form for them to drop it when they did. I think they dropped it when they did to make Mark Davis and to make the Raiders look bad. Because they knew they didn't have anything on paper for where they were going to play in 2019. And the second they dropped that lawsuit, all of a sudden, every media outlet across the fucking country is going to run like a motherfucker with that. And you know it. And that's exactly what they did. Oh my God. Oakland suing the Raiders, and the Raiders don't have anywhere to play in 2019. Hit the presses. Somebody put that shit on blast everywhere. Every fucking goddamn social media outlet was blowing up. So, the fact that the lawsuit's going on, like Michael says, I don't think there's any reason that the fact that lawsuit's going on has anything bearing of what's going to go down in 2019. The fact of the matter is the Raiders need somewhere to play. Oakland has somewhere for them to play. Oakland will gladly take their fucking money. They're not going to turn their money down because there's no other NFL team standing in line knocking on the door saying, hey, let me play in your shitty fucking stadium. Please? Can I play on dirt and have rats in my soda machine? Can I piss in troughs? Please? Nobody else is knocking on their fucking door. So the reality of the matter is, the only NFL team that's going to sign a fucking check to the city of Oakland this year and help pay for any of that fucking facility is who? The Raiders. That's who. So that's the reality of the matter. When it comes right down to it, Oakland needs their fucking money. They're going to take it. They're going to continue to sue. The Raiders need somewhere to play. So they're going to continue to play there until the new house is done. The divorce is final. We're just going to live in the guest room for now. That's what's going down. And it's unfortunate we had to go all Judge fucking Judy and drag all this shit out into open court with this fucking lawsuit when that shit could have waited until they were gone. When they're gone, practicing in Vegas, getting ready to kick off that season, then you drop your lawsuit and piss and moan. You're not going to stop the shield, the swords, the brand. You're not going to stop that from going to Vegas. It's going. It went to LA. It's going to go to LV2. There's a good possibility. There's a good possibility of that, Russ. That Roger Goodell stepped in, and I'd said that before too, that when it comes down, and pardon me, man, I apologize. I've been fighting the flu. I'm just coming off the flu. I missed work yesterday, and I'm not quite, my sinuses and shit ain't quite right, so I apologize if I'm sniffling a little. I gotta stop and take a few more drinks than normal. Man, my throat's rough. But I think we all knew this was the best thing. So I'm thrilled. I'm thrilled I'm going to get to go out and see one more ride in Oakland. I'm going to get to see one more game. I'm going to take my son out for one last ride. Because, see, last year I wasn't able to prepare properly. Because all of a sudden here, you know, the last quarter of the season, all of a sudden we're like, well, shit. This is it. Fuck, this shit's falling apart here at the end. And we thought it was over. But one last ride. And man, let's have a clean break. I hope the forces that be in Vegas maintain the aggressive construction schedule that they had. It was a 30-month build. Oh, we're getting into that in just a second, Brian. That's where we're going next. We're going running backs next, so stick around. We got to talk running backs. Last week, we talked wide receivers. This week, we're going to talk running backs. So, it is where it is, and I'm glad this is the way it should be. One last season in Oakland. You bill it as it is. The last ride in Oaktown. You have the final game. Should be a celebration of everything grassroots about the silver and black, all the way back to the day. You have all the legends there. You have this fucking blowout bash. You do it right. You do it right. That's how it needs to be done. And then you roll into 2020. You got the fucking draft going there in Vegas. I'm telling you, the Pro Bowl's going to be there soon too. And then you got the kickoff of the Raiders. The first full NFL season in Sin City. That year, the NFL is fully embracing Las Vegas. They're having the draft there. It's the inaugural season. The draft is going to be showcasing this new beautiful facility of the Raiders. It's funny how 5 years ago, when you mentioned Las Vegas to the NFL, it was like, oh my God. No. It was forbidden land because of the gambling and mixing all that with it. Now it's like, fuck it. They don't give a shit. All they're seeing now is dollar signs, baby. That's untapped oil, untapped territory. That's all they're seeing right now. So, that's how it should happen. You ride through, close out 2019, and you go to 2020. New stadium, ready to go. So, that brings us to one thing. Well, not one thing, but that brings us to one point. The hinging on the fact that we're now staying in Oakland. The fact we're going to talk about running backs tonight. And the state of the running backs of the Oakland Raiders. And yes, it is Oakland Raiders in 2019. One last time, at least one more year. State of running backs. So we're staying in Oakland. I've said it. I'm on record as saying it. I want the beast mode back. One more year in Oakland. One last ride. I want a healthy beast mode behind a healthy line. I want a better fullback in front of him. And let's do this. There's not a man who wants to win for Oakland any more than that guy does. And if he knows He's got one last shot. And this is it. I say sign the beast, man. One more year. Sign him up. He's a what? A $4.5 million back? $4.5 million back. He is he's obviously a free agent. Doug Martin, also a free agent. Jalen Richard, also a free agent. The only running backs that we have under contract, on paper, coming back are DeAndre Washington, Chris Warren III, and James Butler, running back, rookie last year from Iowa. Man, if my throat makes it through this whole show, I'll be amazed. But so that's what we've got. So we do not have a number one. Jalen Richard is not a number one. Not even close. DeAndre Washington? No. He's basically Jalen Richard 2.0. They're the same guy. Chris Warren III is your project. He's your guy that you've seen in preseason last year that had a solid preseason. But he's not went against top defenses. He's very raw, and he's not ready to come out and be your number one. As much as all these Raider fans in these groups and shit, where they're calling Baby Bo and all this, that's cute and all. He wears number 34, and let's be realistic. You know, the guy who got most of his stats against third and fourth string vanilla defenses in preseason. And then he got hurt and didn't play anything the entire season. So let's temper the excitement on Chris Warren III, and let's actually see him go through an entire preseason and get out on the field in a regular season NFL game and do something. He's a project, but he's not ready to be our number one. So you got to have a number one. Are you on board with beast mode? A lot of people are. But if you're not on board with beast mode, first place you got to look is now to free agency. What's the biggest goddamn name out there? The biggest name out there who didn't play last season because he held out is now been released. He's free. He's an unrestricted free agent. And that's Le'Veon Bell. 27 years old and by far one of the most talented backs in the league. But Le'Veon Bell is a me guy. He only cares about Le'Veon Bell. He will show up to your playoff game 5 minutes before you go out on the field. Not even be there to game plan. Nothing. He doesn't care. He relies completely on his talent to carry him. He doesn't care. No way. I'm not interested in Le'Veon Bell. Somebody else has already been saying it in the comments. And I've been on record with this guy for a couple weeks now. Tevin Coleman is one of the running backs I really think we should take a look at in the free agent market. Tevin Coleman had the ability to step in as the solid number one for Atlanta this year when Devonta Freeman went down. And when he stepped in, he was solid. He was a solid number one back for them. He toted the rock a considerable amount of carries a game, and he was putting up good yards and catching out of the backfield. He's a guy I think could maybe mix in as our number two. Is he a solid number one? No, I don't think he's a solid number one, but he could possibly be a solid number one mixed with, paired with somebody else. But I think Tevin Coleman's worth a look. I think you can get him for a very cheap price. He was only $800,000 last year. Do you realize that? $800,000. He's worth bringing in on the cheap to look at in camp because you've got to try some guys out. Go look at free agency. What do you got out there? The best of what you have out there, besides Le'Veon Bell. Take Le'Veon Bell off. The best you got is Latavius Murray. You want Latavius Murray back? I've seen what Latavius Murray can do. All right? You've seen what he did when he went to Minnesota. He hasn't done anything more than he did in Oakland. In 2016, what you seen out of Latavius Murray was the best you're ever going to see out of him. Period. The guy runs straight up and down and awkward. He's never going to get any better than he is right now. No thank you. I'm not paying that guy $5 million. No way. Mark Ingram. He's about your second best out there. And I think the Saints are going to keep him. I don't think he goes anywhere. Bilal Powell. 30 years old. You want that guy? You want to keep Doug Martin? Again? Doug Martin is a liability with the ball in his hands. How many times do you need to see Doug Martin run through the line of scrimmage, toting the rock with one goddamn arm, and see it get punched out again? Fuck that. Fuck Doug Martin. Put a twist tie on his ass and set him on the motherfucking curb. Somebody pick his ass up and take him to recycling. I don't want him back again. No thank you. I seen the best I'm ever going to see out of Doug Martin. It was 3 years ago in a Tampa Bay Buccaneers uniform. At least he got to stay in Oakland long enough to get his jersey, just like Maurice Jones-Drew. So you got him. You got Jonathan Stewart. I mean, that dude's 32. He's already, man, he's got tread showing on his tires. I don't want that guy. You want LeGarrette Blount? You got Blount out there. I mean, him and Martavius Bryant can, hook up a nice gravity bong. You got those two. They can hang out. Spencer Ware, Jacquizz Rodgers, TJ Yeldon, Darren Sproles, Mike Davis, Fonzie Whitaker, Frank Gore. These are the cream of the crop, folks, in free agency. So when I say a name like Tevin Coleman, a kid who's shown when he can step in, he might be a solid number one, but he's never really been given the opportunity to be a number one. I think he's a guy worth looking at because he was only getting paid $800,000 last year. You can get him on the cheap. I think you can get him on the cheap. Now, that turns you, obviously, next to looking at the draft. Because that's where you all are headed. That turns you to looking at the draft. You've got the two big running backs from Alabama, Josh Jacobs and Damian Harris. They're up near the top of the charts on everybody's list. You've got Montgomery, the running back out of Iowa State. You've got Benny Snell, the running back out of Kentucky. Singletary, the running back out of Florida Atlantic. Justice Hill, the running back out of Oklahoma State. We're getting ready to see all these guys in the combines. Guys are just starting to show up at the combine today and tomorrow. You're going to see guys actually out on the field on Friday. Guys be doing the bench press, the first groups on Thursday. So you're going to start to see some of these guys start to separate themselves. Mike Weber from Ohio State, Bryce Love from Stanford. You're going to start to see some of these guys start to separate themselves a little in the combine here. I don't think you're going to see too many pro days out of the running backs, possibly some out of the quarterbacks, but I don't think there's any that, quarterbacks out that are giving anybody a gigantic stiffy, honestly. Any of the quarterbacks this season, if you're looking to build find your quarterback of the future, I don't think this is the draft. But at running back, I don't think that's a position that we need to go first round in. I really don't. I know you see these juicy names, and they're who you want to see the Raiders jump at, but honestly don't think that's where we should be keying in the first round. I really think the number one overall pick for the Raiders needs to be a wide receiver. I think you need that big play guy to be with Derek Carr. I don't think in free agency you can get that guy. The only guy out there is if you completely want to roll the dice and hang your dick out there on Antonio Brown. He's the only guy out there who could possibly be that guy that you can come in and pair with Derek Carr for 3 seasons. To be that Rice, Montana, that kind of connection. I don't think there's anybody else out there in the market So if you're not looking to gamble and go with one of these divas, like an Odell Beckham, make a trade or something like that, then you gotta go big and try to go for that guy. And I would not be surprised if they go with try and grab one of who they think is the best wide receiver in the draft at 4. I wouldn't be surprised. Now, I wouldn't be surprised to see them hold that for their second first-round pick either, and maybe go edge rusher, defensive end with that second pick, or excuse me, 4th pick as well. But I really, really think, my heart of hearts, I believe our first pick this season is going to be a wide receiver. I really do. I don't know why. It could be, we could trade down. Like JD said, we could trade down and still that first pick be a wide receiver. But I honestly think that John Gruden understands that your quarterback, in order to develop, needs to have that go-to guy. That guy that he knows when he's in trouble, he can look to him. I think he knows that. We all thought we had it, but it wasn't Coop. We all thought we had it. I don't think we thought we had it. We all hoped we had it. But we've been hoping for a long goddamn time. You know, we've seen a lot of Darius Hayward Bays come through. A lot of them. And we'll see. We'll see. It's going to be interesting. But going back to the running back situation, it's definitely, I think, the biggest position on offense that needs addressed. Wide receiver is a fucking damn close second, because our wide receiver core is depleted as well. Very depleted. But we do not have a solid number 1 running back unless you bring back beast mode. Unless you bring back beast mode. And I say, one more year. One more year. Give me Marshawn Lynch. One more year, Gruden. One more year. Bring back the beast. One more year. Man, I want to see Marshawn Lynch have a chance to be in a playoff run one more time. Just one more time. Because there's something about Marshawn Lynch. At the end of the 2017 season, Marshawn Lynch was starting to hit his stride. He was starting to get his playoff legs. And you would have seen vintage beast mode. If we would have gotten to the playoffs that season. But we didn't have the team to get him there. I think beast mode got shelved last year. Mostly because that year was going down the toilet. Everybody knew it. And why have Marshawn Lynch out there and even wear a little bit of tread off the tires? You cannot say that, Elaine. You cannot say that. You cannot say that. The way the NFL is built in 2019, a team can absolutely go from pretender to contender in one season. It happens every year. Every single season, somebody who wasn't in the playoffs the year before makes the playoffs that season. And somebody who was in the playoffs doesn't make the playoffs. It happens every year. Every year there's that, oh shit, I didn't see that team being worth a shit. I didn't think that team was going to be any good. We have holes all over. Currently. But what do you think they're going to do for the next several months? They're going to try to fill those holes. They're going to go through all kinds of off-season camps, rookie camps, mini camps, training camp, preseason to get to the regular season and try to assimilate a team. Yes, there are a lot of holes. But there are a lot of holes on every team right now. Every team has contracts they have to deal with. Every team has the same list that they have to run through. The same offseason checklist. They've all got that. So, yeah, you can list a ton of negatives. I can list a ton of positives. Russ is the list one right there. Same OC for the second year in a row for DC. Hasn't happened his entire career. He's constantly had somebody new in his ear every season. Tell him something new to do. How to act differently. Every season. John Gruden has now had a year to put his system in place. To put players in place. To evaluate guys more. He's making moves on his coaching staff. We've got a new general manager. Who is a draft guru going into the most important draft in almost possibly Raider history. There's lots of things that need to happen. There's holes on offensive line. Left tackle, I don't believe is still that problem solved. I don't believe Colton Miller is the man. I reserve that judgment for another year, but I don't think he's the guy. I don't think he's the guy. So there are holes, but there are positives. I think if we can bring back Jared Cook, our tight end position is huge. This past season, it was one of our bright spots. I think bringing him back is big. Keeping Jordy Nelson, Dwayne Harris on special teams. Marshall Aitman. I'm curious to see what he can get out of a whole nother season. Brandon LaFell. I'm curious. I know he's a restricted free agent, but he was good for the little bit that I've seen. Would he be worth maybe an opportunity to come back? Martavius Bryant, cut bait with that guy. We should have never brought him in. I thought he was a mistake to begin with. Well, yes, he had the same those 2 years, but he hasn't for, the last 3? I gotta disagree with you on Cook. I think Cook should be a top priority to bring back. He was our brightest spot in 2018. He's that Todd Christensen, a hybrid type tight end who's got wide receiver capabilities, and I want to see you put him with a solid number 1 wide receiver. And what I would like to see us do is go out and get one of these more veteran type wide receivers, pair him with the hopefully stud wide receiver you can grab in the draft, add another good veteran in there, then bring back, you've got Jordy Nelson coming back. You could add Marcel Aitman in there. You could add a Brandon LaFell in, Dwayne Harris. Jared Cook is he's an unrestricted free agent. And he's going to demand some money. The thing about Jared Cook is he is at the last contract negotiation of his career. And Jared Cook did what every NFL player wants to do the season before the last contract negotiation of your career. And what's that? He had a fucking banner year, went to the Pro Bowl, he did everything he could do, even on a team who had a terrible fucking season. He was still a shining star. And so he can go into that room and be like, I'm the best fucking thing you had. Pay my ass. Pay me. And if you don't,
we got a bidder on the left and a bidder on the right.
Somebody's going to be fucking throwing up bids for that dude. Somebody's going to want him. And somebody will show that man the money. So I am concerned, and I have been, about losing Jared Cook. Very concerned. I think he's a top priority. We got to bring him back. I think you bring him back at almost all cost, but you can't allow a tight end salary to get driven up there to the point that you can't compete at other positions. But man, I think you've got to bring him back. The rapport that he had with Carr this season. I mean, he was the guy. He was the guy that Carr relied on when he was in trouble. He was the guy that he looked to. But I have a really, really bad feeling that we are not going to be able to give Jared Cook the kind of money that he is going to demand in this free agent market. He is, I'm telling you, guys, look across the market of the NFL, and can you name, hey, off the top of your head, right now, you have to draft a tight end for your fantasy football team. Who are you going to pick? Only about 5 come to mind. I would have said, Gronk, Jared Cook, Zach Ertz. I would have said Delaney Walker, but now he snapped a fucking leg. Jimmy Graham, you would have used to say a year or 2 ago. Now what's he doing? Greg Olsen used to be somebody you could draft every year for your fantasy tight end. He's suspect. He's injury prone. So you've got one of the top. Kelsey's one of your top 5. Kelsey's one of the other ones. Besides that, who else you got? Ebron? You're reaching a little with Ebron, Matt. That's a little bit of a reach. He's not over Ertz. Ertz is by far one of your top. You got Kelsey, Gronk, Ertz, Olsen, and Cook. Those are about your top 5. Olsen's, though, is beat up. Olsen's beat up and injured right now. So, but regardless, so we've all named about the same 5 or 6. So that's it, guys. There's 32 fucking teams out there. And out of all of us just throwing them off the top of our heads, we can only come up with 5 or 6 solid top flight tight ends. Now you're taking one that is just coming off a banner fucking year for a team that played like shit, was a Pro Bowl tight end, a proven team guy. He's got no locker room issues, and you're a Super Bowl contender. You telling me you're not backing the fucking truck up to Jared Cook if you've already got a number 1 running back, a number 1 wide receiver, a star quarterback? You've already got your other pieces in place, and you can just use a stud tight end? Man, I don't know if we can even pitch the kind of argument or sales spiel that some of these other teams are going to pitch to him. You're going to have teams like the Saints that are coming to him and saying, man, look what we got to offer you. All they got to offer you is a bromance with Derek Carr. We're offering you a solid chance to end your career with a Super Bowl. Or you stay with the guys you like. So they've got it. They've got an angle. They've definitely got a selling angle to lure Jared Cook away from Oakland. I don't want to see it. I want to see him back badly. I think he's a key piece to the next couple years. And I think we need to bring him back. Njoku? He's all right. He's an up-and-comer. But he's not one of those solid go-to guys yet. Not yet. Not yet, but he's getting there. So we'll be keeping up on that because free agency's coming up very, very quick, and that shit's about to get hairy. That shit is about to get hairy. So, NFL Combine is upon us. You're gonna start seeing guys on the bench press and stuff. Your first groups on Thursday. Everybody's starting to show up. The first groups are starting to go through. They're gonna go through their weigh-ins. They're gonna get all their measurements. Kyler Murray's gonna be in there with lifts in his shoes, just so he doesn't look like a fucking midget compared to all the rest of the quarterbacks. I bet you that dude. They're saying he's not even gonna get weighed or measure his height, dude. If you don't how fucking insecure are you if you don't let somebody measure your fucking height? Like, what kind of fucking short man disease do you got, bro? I mean, seriously. If that dude does not go there and at least allow them to put down accurate statistics on his fucking body, that's retarded. I mean, come on. We can tell how tall you are by standing next to somebody else who we already know what their height is. It's absurd to me. But the fact that these guys like, nah, I'm going to go, man, but I'm not going to run the 40. I'm going to go, but I'm not going to throw. It's the fucking NFL Combine. You want to play in the NFL? Take your ass out there and run through the fucking drills. I have a problem with anybody who doesn't want to go out there and just go through the fucking drills like everybody else. That tells me something about a guy right off the bat. No, I gotta do it in my pro day. Dude, if you're a fucking gamer and you're a fucking baller, I'll hand you a football and you'll go out anywhere, out in the fucking street, somebody's backyard, a fucking pasture, dirt lot. You'll go anywhere and throw that ball on the target. Anywhere. If you're a fucking baller. If you I gotta have the perfect situation with my guys running the route, with my coaches there, with my lighting. Dude, if that's the only way that you can, under pressure, show your wares to your possible future employer, I wouldn't draft your ass. Fuck that. No way. That tells me everything I need to know about your character right out of the bat. Go to the combine, do the fucking silly drills like everybody else. Because that's just what you're supposed to do. And then everybody will evaluate you and decide if they'd like to take you. Just like everybody else. Because then you're all judged on an even field, under the same pressure, under all of the same factors, under the same elements. Sooner or later, you're gonna find out if a guy sucks or not. And tell you what, man, if you are so fucking concerned about bombing, you ain't cut out for the league. What do you think's what kind of pressure you think week one's gonna be? What kind of pressure you think that's gonna be? You think the pressure working out in front of coach? Come on. I agree, Michael. How the fuck can you show up and not pass your medical at the fucking combine? What the hell's wrong with you? It's the biggest goddamn thing that ever happened to you in your fucking life. And you don't show up in the tip-top shape of your life? Are you insane? What the hell's wrong with some of these guys? My God, give me that shot. Fuck. I'd abstain from everything. I'm there. These guys don't get it. They just don't fucking get it. They don't get it. just don't get it. Hey, if you haven't heard, RaiderReaction.com. Go check that shit out. It's our new website. It's got the Raider Reaction shop in it. You can get your Raider Reaction gear in there. We're going to be dropping new products in the shop every Sunday all the way to the draft. One new Raider Reaction piece of custom gear is going to be dropping every week in there. We got some new hats coming, a couple new badass shirt designs. We got a big logo sticker coming for your ride. We've got all kinds of stuff coming in there. Plus, vintage NFL memorabilia and collectibles that we're going to be dropping in there as well every Sunday. So make sure you check it out, RaiderReaction.com. It's got links that'll send you to all of our shows so you can subscribe so you know when the shows are popping. It's got links to take you to our Facebook group so you can come join the dark side. We've been waiting for you. Join the Raider Reaction Empire, our official group, and it's got links to take you to all 4 of our social media platforms as well. Plus, it'll keep you up to date on all of our badass shit that's going on. So, this week, Prime's in the house tomorrow night. We got a special edition off-season Goes to the Post. As Prime's in the house tomorrow. And then on Thursday, we got a reaction shop raffle, and we're going to be posting all the info tomorrow. It's all going to be $1, and I think I'm going to do one $3 raffle ticket item. But it's going to be almost all $1 raffle ticket items. One of our viewers was gracious enough to send us some vintage Raider football cards. We raffled some of those off. I'm going to throw a couple t-shirts in, some bracelets. Got some Raider Reaction stickers. I've got some other vintage shit I'm going to throw in. So Thursday night, make sure you tune in, and I'll be giving you all the info tomorrow on how you get your raffle tickets. And you'll be able to purchase the raffle tickets right through RaiderReaction.com. So it'll make everything a hell of a lot easier. That's our home base now. So make sure you check it out. Bookmark that shit. Like it. Learn it. RaiderReaction.com. I like to finish every one of my segments, all of my Raider Nation reports, it's a special little segment that I like to call the WTF. I gotta wet my whistle for this one. I'm gonna blow my throat out right here. So this WTF. I seen a headline today. Says, Cowboys CEO Stephen Jones says when Raiders make their pick at 27, we'll be watching the Amari Cooper highlight tape. Really? You got everything that you want to get out of Amari Cooper already. In that one season. That's all you want to see out of Amari Cooper? A couple games? I mean, we all saw the culmination of Amari Cooper's season, which was in the Pro Bowl, with the fucking ball while he's completely wide open for a touchdown, bouncing off his fucking face in perfect Amari Cooper fashion. We all seen that. Don't try to... Listen, this is simply a case. This is simply a case of the guy who's now dating your ex-girlfriend. And he's trying to be like, look what I got. Be like, bruh, I know what you got. I had what you got for 3 years. Okay? I woke up next to that shit. I seen what it looked like in the motherfucking morning. I seen what it looked like at 3 o'clock in the morning curled around the toilet. Listen, you ain't telling me nothing, okay? Don't parade my ex-girlfriend around because you put her in a new dress and try to tell me I should be jealous. No, that's all right. I know she looks good in a new dress. But I've seen what that bitch looks like in the morning. And she drops balls all over the place. So you can keep her. You keep watching that highlight reel. And when you get to the end of that highlight reel, you rewind that part over and over and over again with that ball bouncing off his motherfucking face. Because that was on the highlight reel too. Because unless there's a highlight reel with Amari Cooper at the end of it holding a Lombardi trophy, then I don't want to hear shit. about fucking Amari Cooper. Okay? He hadn't done nothing to justify you trading a first-round pick for him yet. Not even close. So as much as you want to justify your job, Cowboys CEO Stephen Jones, who the fuck are you anyway? Are you just the guy that polishes Jerry's glasses? Are you the one that orders his hookers? I wonder if he goes to the same Asian spa as Robert Kraft. Jerry probably orders 4, because he's that greedy type prick. Man! Amari Cooper with the Cowboys. What the fuck? Seriously. If you haven't followed us on Twitter, at Raider Reaction, do it. If you haven't followed us on Instagram, at Raider Reaction 81, do it. If you haven't followed us, subscribed on YouTube, Raider Reaction Webcasts, do that as well. I believe you've probably already liked and followed us on Facebook. But if you haven't done it, do that too. Go join the Raider Reaction group, the Raider Reaction Empire, the official group of Raider Reaction. It's on our group tab. You can also find it at our website, RaiderReaction.com. That is the new home base of Raider Reaction. I'm adding shit to it every day. It's going to continue growing. You want to know anything about Raider Reaction over the next several weeks, it's all going to be there. It's almost all there right now. There are links to everything. How to join our hype team if you want to join it. How to join our groups. Where to subscribe to our shows. The fan galleries. If you've got Raider Reaction gear, send us a picture to the page. We're going to put that shit up on our website and our viewer galleries. If you're out there rocking any of the... got any of our logo shirts or the Deep Behind the Enemy Line shirts? If you're out there rocking them, send them in. I've pretty much got everybody's pictures already up. That's because, Michael, you are a goddamn intelligent man. That's why. And you should all be as intelligent as Michael and follow his lead. And follow us on all 4 platforms. We've got all kinds of stuff popping. We've got short video segments that are coming from all the members of the hype team. I got 2 in the queue right now from Raider Ortiz that are going to be coming out, and 1 from Raider G as well. Those are going to be dropping over the next 24 hours. So we've got 3 fresh videos coming out for you guys. We've been dropping these fresh little shorts all throughout the week. About 3 to 4 minute little segments from all members of the hype team, and I hope you guys are enjoying them. We're throwing them up at watch parties and what have you, so you guys can check them out. Thank you all for joining me, as always, each and every one of you. I appreciate you all immensely for stopping in, new and old, our band of pirates. Without you, we would be nothing. Absolutely. Make sure you tune in tomorrow night. Prime's in the house. A special off-season goes to the post. And Thursday, a reaction shop raffle. We're going to give some shit away. And I'll be posting all the info tomorrow so you can get your raffle tickets locked down. We'll be selling them live during the show as well. So right up until the second we're raffling that piece off, you can get your ticket locked down. Check out our website, RaiderReaction.com. That shit just went global as we continue our mission to paint the world silver and black. Thank you for joining me, as always. That was your Raider Nation report for this motherfucking week. I'm out. Peace, love, Raider Nation!